The drive to my father's temporary apartment was the quietest car ride Jeremy and I ever shared. No music, no small talk, just the sound of the heater and the weight of everything we'd never said. When we pulled up, the building looked older than I expected. Cheap brick, rusty railings, a place meant for people who were waiting on something, waiting for a second chance, or waiting for the end. Jeremy hesitated before getting out. "He's in room 12, he said softly. "I'll wait in the car if you want. Just take your time." I nodded, stepped out, and made my way down the dim hallway. Every step felt like marching toward a memory I never asked for. When I reached room 12, the door was slightly open. I knocked anyway. "Come in," a weak voice said. I hadn't heard my father sound like that since I was a child. I opened the door, and there he was. Not the man I grew up fearing. Not the storm that cracked through every room of the house. Not the voice that barked orders louder than any drill sergeant. Just a man. A tired, thin, pale man. With shaking hands. And eyes that looked like they'd seen too much darkness. Most of it his own making. "Daniel," he breathed. My name sounded unfamiliar coming from him. Like it was the first time he'd ever said it softly. I didn't move closer. I didn't sit. I just stood there. "What do you want?" I asked quietly. He swallowed hard. "To talk," he said, "before I can't anymore." I crossed my arms. "You had decades to talk." He nodded, almost ashamed. "I know, I wasted them." Silence stretched between us. Not angry, not tense. Just real. He looked down at his hands. "I wasn't a good father," he said. It wasn't an apology. Not yet. Just a fact he'd finally stopped running from. "I pushed you too hard. Expected too much. Loved too little. I know that now. I knew it then, too. I was just too proud to admit it." I didn't respond. He continued. "When you joined the military, I told myself it was your choice. But part of me knew you left because of me." His voice cracked. "And when you kept sending money, helping with the house, I took it. Because I didn't know how to say thank you. Or how to say I needed you." I clenched my jaw. "And when you told me not to come home," I asked. He closed his eyes. "That was fear." I frowned. "Fear of what?" "Fear that you'd see how bad things had gotten. Fear that you'd look at me and realize I'd failed as a father. Fear that you'd stop helping if you saw the truth." He let out a shaky breath. "I didn't want you to see what I'd become." I stared at him for a long moment. "You could have told me." He shook his head. "No, son, I couldn't. You don't ask the child you've hurt to save you." For the first time, his eyes met mine. And behind all that pride, rage, and stubbornness, I finally saw something human. Regret. Real, painful regret. "I wasn't trying to cut you out of the house," he whispered. "That paperwork, the part your mother signed. I forced it. I wanted control back. I wanted one thing in my life that didn't remind me of what I owed you." He let out a small, broken laugh. "Instead, I lost everything." I swallowed, my throat tight. "So why am I here?" I asked. His lips trembled. "Because I don't want to die being the villain in your story. Because I don't want the last words between us to be a voicemail." His breathing grew shallow. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking for the house. I'm not asking you to love me." He looked up at me. Eyes wet, voice shaking. "I just want you to know. I was proud of you. I just never knew how to say it." Something inside me cracked. Not forgiveness. Not acceptance. Just truth. I walked closer. Not enough to touch him, but enough that he could see my face clearly. "Why now?" I whispered. He smiled weakly. Because dying makes cowards honest. The room fell silent. His breathing slowed. "Daniel," he said one last time, "don't carry my sins with you. You deserve a better story than the one I gave you." He closed his eyes. A long, fragile pause. Then a whisper. "Goodbye, son." For the first time in my life, I heard him say the word son. When the monitor beeped faster, I stepped back. I didn't take his hand. I didn't tell him I forgave him. But I stayed. I stayed until the beeping stopped. Until room 12 was quiet. Until the echo of his lies became the echo of his truth. And when I finally walked out of that room, I didn't feel lighter, but I felt free.